Raw bot. We live. We got a double header for you tonight. We're gonna hit you with the raw haze at 8:30. And Miss Dean in the building. You don't want to miss that. It's gonna be hot. We the hottest in the game right now. Ain't nobody doing it like us. We already did a tape on these beings in the Galactic Family of Life series. I think it was like part 2 or 1. But we wanted to just do a whole tape on it. We saw somebody cut that clip out and put it online. They cut the clip out of that when we was talking about the feline beings. We were some of the first people talking about it. They said Young Gill's crazy, you know? Young Gill's going crazy, man. He talking about some feline beings that walk upright. We're about to get into it. I'm about to get into the feline beings, introduce you to the feline extraterrestrial race. And as always, YouTube, we're going to keep it clean. So all my guys that's doing the check, my ladies and gentlemen that's doing the check down at YouTube, y'all doing a good job. Keep up the good work. Because y'all improving the tapes a little faster now. So I guess they got a little bit more help over at the place, man. They get a little bit more help. So we're going to keep it clean. We're about to get ready to go in. Twist caps and turn heads, crack heads. Keep in mind, we got the Rod Hayes tape tonight at 8:30, y'all. Y'all get the game. We in the building. Never have it been made so clear. Never have it been made so clear. Now, y'all get I'm putting this tape out right now because I know people are going to be stealing our stuff. So you see the time stamp on it. Like I say, you can go back to the tape that's 5 years old on our page where we were talking about these beings. Matter of fact, I'm going to do a short clip from that tape. I think it's a Galactic Family of Life Part 1 or Part 2. The first tapes we put out. We also got the book of Extraterrestrials out. Right? People say, oh, it's extraterrestrial. No, we say extraterrestrial. You know what I'm saying? That's our trademark. Right? So we got that book out where we break down these beings, these feline beings inside of the book of Extraterrestrial. We got that book for $20 donation to the Cash App or PayPal. Right? They're going to flag us. We didn't even see it. They're going to flag us, though. Or you can just get all 8 books for a $50 donation to the PayPal or Cash App. All 8 books. Leave your emails in the link. We'll send you all 8 books in PUF form. We don't have the hardback copies. We're in the process of getting everything put on Amazon and all that. So then we got 4 new books that are gonna be coming out sometime this year. We're getting them together right now. Let me get switched to that laptop. Like I say, the 8:30 Rod Hayes tape. You don't want to miss that. We're going to be talking tonight on the feline race of beings. Some of you are from this spiritual, some of you have spiritual connection with cats. And it's a reason why you have a spiritual connection with the cats is because you are a part of this species. Your spiritual, you came here to Earth to experience a certain energy. Humanoid type energy. Keep in mind, there's several books that we get on this topic where beings actually go and explain on their experience with these beings. Well, we're gonna talk. There's several different species. We actually break down. There's a book out. This book right here, where the being details their. You get this book right here called A Gift from the Stars, Alien Races. This book right here breaks down some of the stuff about the feline race because this being has contact with them with the beings, right? And with a particular race.
That particular race was the warrior clan of these feline beings. And there's different types. Let's just pull this up right here, but we're gonna break that down. Okay. So I'm Sananda Phone, your galactical guide, right? We're here to teach you the galactical information, but people were complaining and saying why he ain't talking about stuff that's going on Earth. So we had to slow down on the extraterrestrial tapes and start putting out Native American stuff that people that they concerned about on Earth. So we got a lot of that out already. So now we're going back to our extraterrestrial teachings. YouTube like these teachings and they cut us some slack on these, so we'll do a lot of these joints. There are several different clans. Keep in mind there is 45 clans, 45 different genetics when you're dealing with the feline race, different types. It's actually more than that now because some of these beings mix with Hindus and other species and created different species, like the humanoid cat beings, which is the beings they show you in Avatar. The Avatar beings are mixed with the cat beings. Let me show you them. That's why they got the tail and all that, like just like the these felines. They really these beings can get up to 10 to 16 feet tall. Some of them get up to 6. They can range in between like the small domestic cat size all the way up to 16 feet tall. Some of them, some of the clans. And they can weigh in between 15 pounds all the way up into 1,800 pounds. I want to show you this. I'm about to get into where they come from, and all that too. You know what I'm saying? All right, I wanted to show you this. Where the hell is it? Okay, there you go, right here. All right, so you know about the new movie Avatar. These beings actually really do exist, and they look exactly like they showed you in the movie. The name of their planet is not Pandora. They call it Pandora in the movie, but the name of their planet is Nabi or Nabu. And they really are called a Nabu. The Nabu people are Navi, which is really short for native, right? Short for native. And these beings are mixed with these cat beings. That's why they have the cat-like features. They are blue Hindu beings mixed with the cat beings. So some of them you'll see they have spots. Some of the tribes on Nabu, they got different species due to the different cat species, like the leopard, tiger, lion. So these different species got different genetics due to the different cat races that were mixing in. And these beings are some of the oldest beings in the galaxy. You're talking about around 40 to 30 billion years they go back when we created them. The leader of the head house is called the House of Avion. Right, and keep in mind they live in the Vega star system, the Lyra star system, which we refer to. That's the Leo. That's their new home. We created this new home, Leo, for them after their planet got destroyed during a war. Okay, hold up. Let me go back. I want to show you this. All right, they're right. Tony the Tiger is the leader of the main feline race. The ones that was our pets until we freed them, and then they became these high spiritual beings from the 7th dimension, light beings. So you got different chiefs. There's different chiefs. There's 45 chiefs. This is one of the high. Some of the beings, hey, stop beating on that. Some people chose, some of their spiritual beings chose to stay as ascended beings, while some of them chose to come down to 5th density and all the way down to 3rd density to participate in the project that we was doing to prove, it really was to prove that the only problem that we had was dealing with one species, a humanoid reptilian species. All right, so this is what they look like in the 7th dimension. They light beings. All right, hold up. I want to show y'all this. So there's like 45 different clans. They call a house of avian. Keep in mind how many it's 37 species right now on your planet. 37 of these 45 species chose to come and participate in Project Blue Rock. So that's why you have all these different cat races here on Earth. These are these people ancestors. Beings who graduated from this planet and became ascended beings. Right? Who went through this school and became ascended beings. Their origin is the Lyran star system. That's why they call the Lyrians. Now, they're not the only Lyrians. There are many different species, not just cats. You got reptilian Lyrans, you got humanoid Lyrans, you got gray, alien-looking Lyrans. I'm trying to find the star system. That's the Leo. That's their new home. And this is their first home, well, their second home, because they origin. A lot of these species, they were designed in this solar system, the engineered in the laboratory. They physical vessels. So these beings come from a Lyra star system. They come from about 900 light years away, right? And they visit Earth because their ancestors are here. Different extraterrestrials come and visit their people, whether it be the mammal, whether it be the like the 8 type people who come from Cyrus, whether it be the dog like people, because these people fought against the dogs and the reptilians. We really, well, I'm gonna tell you. Let me go back. All right, so when the war was taken, when we ascended. After Riz got attacked, we developed the ascension equipment, the final essence of it when we got to Orion, the Orion star system. And the war was going on with the reptilians. And it's the war been going on with the reptilians even before the Nubaru crashed. And so the cats, we created the cats as a countermeasure, because keep in mind, it's everything was created as countermeasures to control another species. We as Anunnakis, the ancient ones, the gate builders is what they called us. So if you know anything about cats, cats are killer reptilian, a snake. Depends on how big a cat is. Some cats can't handle like the alligators. It depends on what type of cat it is, or a lion or something like that, right? It depends. And then each of these species have their own territory where they're dominant. Like if they get into an ocean, killer sharks and killer whales, they dominate they land mass or they ocean. And then on land, you got certain cats that dominate the land. But we created these cats as a countermeasure to help us fight the reptilians and control the reptilians. If you know anything about cats, cats are killer snake. Let me get that chat pulled up so I can see what y'all saying, man. A cat, a killer snake. My grandmother was a cat lady. My grandma had a lot of cats, but she had this one particular cat that we call Garfield, who looked just like Garfield, and he was big just like Garfield, and he used to sit at the table and eat Frosty Flake cereals with the tiger on the front, with Tony the Tiger on the front. Hey, Rob, by if you're in the building, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We're gonna be live with Raw at 8:30, y'all. We just warming you up. We're hitting you with these series of extraterrestrial tapes so we can go ahead and get all this information out. Like I say, we already did a tape on these beings already. It's like Galactic Family of Life Part 1 is like 5 years old. So we're ahead of the game. But we're reiterating this information so that you can see what's going on. All right, you get that book off Amazon right there. We got that book, right? We got several extra. We got just about all the books on extraterrestrials, right? Zachariah, Stitch, and all that, right? Okay. So they're different species. They can range, like we said. Look at the species on your planet. Look at the different feline species on your planet. And look at where they range from small domestical cats all the way up into the big cats, right? Well, as it is above, so is it below. So you got species, and this particular species don't run in a pack like the tiger clan, the leopard clans. It's a couple clans. If you study the feline species on your planet and how they move just like that in the galaxy, right? Because like I said, if you want to find out what's going on in your galaxy, Earth is the place to start, the best place to start in the whole galaxy to study the universe. Because we brought Project Blue Rock, we brought these different species to your planet to see how they live in peace, to settle the war, because we got tired of fighting back and forth, fighting nonstop. So in order to settle the last wars of the Galactics, we've set up Project Blue Rock, and we brought all the species here to see if they could live in peace. Right, Star Fox, right? The foxes is a part of that same species as the cat species. It's part of the same species, just the offshoot, right? So you're looking at foxes, you're looking at all the feline races, right, on the planet. Like it's like 37 different species, right? You're looking at all the different species, and then you look at how they move. See, you got some galactical cats. Some galactical cats are domestical cats still, just like in the galaxy. They pets to a higher advanced races. They like some of the Anunnakis got the females got cats, and they cats not like a cat that you got down here. Even though cats are intelligent on the planet Earth, but these cats are humanoid intelligent. Like they have the intelligence, more the intelligence than humans, than you humans right now have developed. Now you can develop more because the genetics of these beings was added to your genetics, especially the women. The mitochondrial DNA has these Leo. They in the Leo now, but they call Lyran feline beings. The human genetics have their genetics inside of you. You got cat in you. All of y'all got cat in you. That's part of one of your 23 strands of DNA that you got. These species is one of the 23 strands. And we're going to do a tape on that called the 23 strands of DNA, took it from the different species to create the human car, right? The human avatar. So feline, you got bird in you. You got gorilla, monkey. You got reptilian in you. They use mostly reptilian and mammal. We're going to get into that. We're going to do the 23 strands of human DNA coming from these different species. So it ain't no, it's a connection between, ain't no coincidence. There's a connection between a lot of people and why they love cats. Because you was a cat. You are one of them that came here as an animal spirit and evoluted to a humanoid spirit to develop. You came here for growth and development as a spiritual being. A lot of you. What we're gonna take questions and answers like at the hour. We'll take questions and answers, man. We've at 18 minutes. We just really getting started. Okay. So there are different, just like it's different species down here on your planet of these cat beings in the galactics, they all the different species, like the tiger species, they run in packs. All right, and this is what, like Tony the Tiger. This ain't Tony right here, but Tony is the leader. It's the leader of one of the head packs. So it's different types. Now the people who are here trying to promote the feline race, the pale man always want to promote the white tigers. The white tigers is rare. You rarely see a white tiger in nature. And when they do see a white tiger, these tigers are rare and few in the galactics. And then just like it is on Earth, you ain't gonna see really a white tiger in the African jungle. You're gonna see a orange, black, and brownish tiger. You're not gonna see no white tiger. That's rare. these tigers are mostly laboratory bred to be albino tigers. Albino is not a normal, it is a genetics that exists, but it's not a normal genetics that's rallied through the galaxy. Like they try to promote Astral Command, they only promote the Caucasian Astral Command. When they promote, which is, and they really, the original Astral Command is really reptilians from the Nomos, or the Sirius B star system. So they always promote the lighter tigers. Like I saw a picture that they put up. Devin is the second in command in the head family of the royal family. Devin he has 6 to 7 sons and 1 daughter, I think, Tony. But Devin is one of the commanders of it was Tony the Tiger's son, who I believe to be who incarnated in this life as Devin the Dude, the rapper from Houston, Texas. Devin the Dude. He got the same, I remember his voice. He got the same voice as Devin. So they promote these white tigers like they the royal people, but they're not. The white tiger is rare and special, but they are not the leaders. Some of them are mostly spiritual guides, and like, you know, they ain't the royal family. The royal family got color, got melanin. The royal family got melanin. So you got to keep in mind when a lot of people is talking extraterrestrial stuff, especially when they don't look like us, they ain't got the copper tone, or, you know, we range in color. But they always promote the white, bright, albino. Anything they promote is white as they can get it to make them feel good, right? But it's just not that, and it's just not that. So on a planet, a white tiger is rare. You really never see a white tiger. And if you do, he was genetically bred in the laboratory, or it's just, he rare, 1 out of a million, right? 1 out of a million, right? It says, so segment was Lyran. Yeah. All right, so let me break that down for you, since you brought that up. All right, so when the Goa'uld came, keep in mind, we were Hindus. And we was in the Hindu cause, right? When we came from Orion as the Atlanteans. Really, we came before the Goa'ulds. We came as the Atlanteans before that. The Atlanteans actually older than the Goa'ulds, or the ancient Egyptians, or the Natharus. The Natharus and the ancients, the Natharus come from the same bloodline as the Atlanteans, but the Atlanteans go back farther. We're dealing with billions of years with the Anunnakis, then we're dealing with millions of years with the Atlanteans, which is children of the Anunnakis. After the planet Riz got attacked, and they moved some of them moved to Orion, some of them moved to Pleiades, some of them moved to Arcturus. And then the ones that moved to Orion, the royal family, they became known as the Natharus, or the Atlanteans first. And then they came to Earth, and then they came back and forth. And then later on, millions of years after that, they became known as the Natharu, or the Netaru, the nature beings, or whatever, right? So let me break that down. So these like Suket, like all these beings were beings. These beings were mixing. We were mixing with these beings, right? These feline beings. When we came, we Hindus. Some of us took these beings as these physical vessels as cars when we came here. Why you think the Sphinx is there? The Sphinx is letting you know that the crossbreeding humanoid the humans have this feline species in them. That's what the Sphinx is all about. It's about crossbreeding with these beings. When they got here, you got Bastet, right? Bastet, these cat beings. So not only when we came here as Goa'ulds, not only were we mixing with feline beings, we were mixing with ape-mans, which is the Wanis, and another group called the Lyrans, the Lords, monkeys, right? Monks, where you get the word monk from. Them beings came from Sirius, we were mixing in with them as Hindus, and we were mixing with dog-like creatures. Bob will talk about all this in the Holy Tablets. We're going to have the Holy Tablets in the link. In the descriptions, right? In the descriptions, is it true that we see Lyrans when they die? I heard that. Is it true that you see Lyrans when they die? What type of Lyran? Because when you say Lyran, that can be loose, like that's a loose term, like American. Like when you say American, that can be classified right now as a lot of different species of humanoids. So when you say Lyran, that can be Lyran is what we called it. We referred to it as Eliun, where we lived in a 3-star sun system that had 19 planets. They got attacked. Alex Collier tell you this story, although he kind of like he only can talk for his people. See, the Andromedans are here to get their people. We here to get our people. And I'm thinking hard about staying here. Or should I leave? Something is telling me that I want to stay here and help develop the planet. I'm starting to think on it. Because I'm still gonna get to travel once we release all the technology, the magnetic gravity and all that stuff. All right, so these beings were helping us out with a war with the reptilians. Keep in mind, cats kill reptilians. Cats kill snakes, serpents, beings. Right? As it is above, so is it below. Study the cats, study the feline race down here. You get an idea of what these beings are all about. But more intelligent though. Humanoid, more intelligent. Right? And so they live on a planet. They got maybe about 50 or 60 planets that they were occupying in several different star systems, mainly being Lyra. Now there was a war clan called the Thundercats. And they put a movie out, a cartoon called Thundercats that gives you the story of these beings. Y'all probably remember that cartoon for my young old school cats. You might remember that cartoon when you was little called Thundercats. Right? And in the cartoon, they break down these cats fighting against reptilians. Here you go, right here. Like, remember the Thundercats. Right? See these cat beings fighting against reptilians. They give you the whole storyline right here in this Thundercats. They give you the storyline of these beings and these humanoid cat beings fighting against reptilian, turtle-looking beings, different style of Dragonians. They were Dragonians. Because keep in mind, the war started when the Dragonians came to Riz and they blew a hole in our ozone layer. Keep in mind, we had 3 suns, and it started at a plague where it was affecting us because we were already going into the ascension. We were developing an ascension technology where we ascended for 3 hours our time. Keep in mind, 1 day on our planet was like 3 years on your planet. 1 day is 1,095 days is 1 day on our planet. So every 3 hours, if you do the math, and we already did the calculations for you, every certain amount of will ascend during midday after we consumed a certain type of energy that we had developed that we were using for a food source. And we were developing the ascension technology, but we hadn't completely developed it before we got attacked. This war broke out all over the galaxy. This war with when it talks from our biblical people and my Bible guys, it's in Revelations chapter 12, verse 7, or I think it's 12, verse 7, where it says, Michael and his angels fought against the dragon and his angels, right? Well, they don't go into explaining that Michael's angels were several different species. The beings that fought with Murdoch on Nubaru, it was 144,000 different species. So with feline beings, there were reptilian, good Dragonians who joined on with us to fight against their own people. There were Nomos. There were bird people, because the bird race and these race. The bird race is actually older than the feline race. But the Canarians and these Thundercats, they were fighting along with each other with us, with the Anarchies, the good Anarchies. Because keep in mind, you got bad Anarchies which is fighting on the bad side. But it depends on what perspective you're looking from when you're dealing with good and bad. Because we really don't deal in good and bad. We deal in negative and positive energy, right? Somebody said, okay, what did he say right there? We'll get into that part in a minute. But when we got attacked and the war kicked off, several people, several different species, including a lot of the cat race that chose to fight along with us, they lost their homes, and their homes got destroyed by reptilians, by Dragonian reptilians. And several other species who chose to fight with the reptilians. Like 1/3 of most of all the species in the galaxy chose to join on with the reptilians. So you got cat beings who are disagreeable from our perspective, who chose to fight and join on with Halai and Tarnish them to fight and fight on their side against Michael and his angels. So you got, and then you got dog beings. You want to know why dog beings come about through a crossbreeding that the reptilians did in order to keep in mind they technology ain't as advanced as ours, which is why when we created the cat, we had more technology. And so they got a longer, the rep in a physical vessel, the cats got a longer lifespan than dogs. The dogs and cats fight each other because it's a galactical thing. The cats and dogs been fighting against each other. The dogs chose to join on with the reptilians. The dogs really join on with whoever taking care of them, whoever showing them love. That's what the dogs really not that smart. They really one of the dumbest races in the universe. The dogs, the dog race is one of the dumbest, and they really follow whoever giving them the feeding them, or whoever giving them supplies or whatever they need. So when the reptilians made a deal with them and said we're gonna create this dog race, and then we're gonna give them all the stuff they need to help us fight. So them dogs got short lifespans, right? 1 year, the dog species of extraterrestrials. Let me show you what some of them look like, because they got different looks. They show you one of the dog species, and this tie in with the feline beings, because the dog, they wonder why the dog chased the cat. Where it's galactical. It's galactical. Let me show you one of these dog species. There's several different ones. Anubis was a part of this dog species genetics. A lot of y'all got the dog genetics in you. That's why you love dogs so much. The dog species is some of y'all want as one of your genetics. The wolf gene. Raised by wolves, right? We're about to go in. We're about to crack heads and twist caps. Never have it been made so clear. I hear a lot of people trying to talk extraterrestrial stuff, but they can't talk it unless they get it from a young ear. They ain't talking unless they got it from a young ear. So they asking people questions about stuff that I talk about, and it's hard for them to answer. Only thing they can respond to is he misleading the people, or he making it up, or we don't believe in aliens, or whatever they say, whatever the. All right, so they show you these beings in the fifth element. You remember these beings? These are one of the dog species that they dumb. They show you how dumb they is in the fifth element. And they join that dude as his soul. They like soldier clans that join these different clans, and it's because that's who feeding them, or that's who supplying them. And if you were to come in and pay them more than the next guy, they'll join on with you. That's how dogs are. They loyal to whoever taking care of them. So the reptilians were taking care of them, and they started fighting against. They were used as a countermeasure to fight against the cats, because the cats were beating the reptilians out, was helping us contain and win the war against the reptilians. So in order to counteract the reptilians, or to counteract the cats, they came out with the dog species, and it's almost. When you create something, you automatically have to create its opposite in order to legitimize it, right? So these dog beings, they go out working for whoever in the universe, and they fight on whoever whoever taking care of them. That's their game, their whole game. So these beings are fighting the cat beings. The cat beings. Right? So different as you build up through the chain of the different species, and you see what's eating what or what's fighting against what on your planet, you'll see what's fighting against what or what was created to counteract what in the solar system or in the galaxy. Hey, what you mean, Hitch? Hey, hit creative music. What you mean? Nah, we kill each other. What you mean? The dogs? Dog, you a dog being? You're a fifth element dog beings. They show you these beings in the fifth element, right? They also show you Andrometans being, that blue being that sang in the opera. She's an Andrometans being, the one that Alex Collier is talking about, right? The one that was singing the opera. So there are different clans. They look different. They range in color from just like the colors down here, gray, black cats like the panther, the tiger, the leopard, white cat, brown cats. You got mountain lions, you know what I'm saying? Barracudas, all in the same family, right? They range in different colors. There's different kinds. Look how they look, right? So you got a white one, and they have human. It's a lot of species that's on Earth. Like you got humanoid insects that's in the galaxy. You got humanoid reptilians. You got humanoid lion beings, humanoid fish beings, humanoid horse beings. Because we all different mixes. We all mixed. The humanoids were mixing with other species throughout the galaxy. Anu was mixing with several different species throughout the galaxy. And they Tony, which was Anu's pet, really is one of his sons, Tony the Tiger. One of Anu's sons is Tony the Tiger, who is the leader of these feline race beings. And they put him on Kellogg's cornflakes, who was the members of the Illuminati, put him on the front of a box of cereal, and they say his slogan is, "They're great." Who's great? Who's great? He's saying that the cereal great. Who's great? No, he talking about the Anunnaki, Anu. That's who's great. The great builders. The great builders. Okay. Hey, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're in the building. Keep in mind, we got the Rod Hayes tape at 8:30. You want to be tuned in for that. If you want to show us some love, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. If you don't receive a notification from us every single day, sometimes 3 and 4 times a day, come back and check with us. We got something every day for you. If you want to show us some love on the Cash App, we take $1, $5, $10, whatever you got. If you really want to put us in the game, send your brother $100. We also have the 8 books by the Young Elder right now. Hot books out. The book of Extraterrestrial, where I break down what I'm breaking down now already in the book that we put out almost 2 years ago. Everything, I got all this stuff in the book already, the book of Extraterrestrials. So one of the 8 books is that book. And then you got the Dream Scroll, Galactic Family of Life, the Hustler's Manual, the Scroll of Eyes, the Orion Group book, the Ascension Manual, and the Language of the Bird book. Right? So you get all 8 books to the PDF form, to your email for a $50 donation to the Cash App or PayPal. We just have to make them announcements. All right. So they're different species, different races of these beings. Let me show you. I'm just showing you a couple of pictures of what they look like. All right. So you see what that one look like? And like I say, I already put this information out 5 years ago. Go back and get the tape. I think it's Galactic Family of Life, Galactic Part 2 or 1. Somebody already took a 10-minute clip from that video and posted it on their page, I see. But they only got like 200 and some plays. So when the Goa'uld came here, these beings, the bird races, see the bird race, the feline race, the reptilian race, the grays, all of us came here and was working together. We was living We were all living on this planet, just like we living now. We still living just like we living now. All the species are still living on this planet because of Project Blue Rock. But the higher ancestors of all of us came here, and we was here first during the time of the pyramid building and during the time of when we was educating the planet, right? So all of us was here working together. The feline race were the good beings who were coming here to educate the planet, but a certain group of Anunnakis and a certain group of Goa'uld like Satuk them, they didn't want the regular humans to advance past them because they wanted to be their god. So they got mad at the feline beings and the bird beings for coming here to teaching, like Tahuti. He was part of the bird clan. And like I heard people say, they started over here in America. Yeah, Tahuti started over in America first at the Atlantis in the city and at the city of the gods and old Mexican. Then after the reptilians attacked our landing pad, which was Atlantis, where we had our mothership sitting on the power source. When they attacked it, that's when we got on the ship and left on a Tahuti ship, and we went over to ancient Kemet and landed right there by the Sphinx and set up. The Sphinx was the only thing now when we got there, and then we began setting up the schools over there of the well, take that back. The pyramids were there before because we put the pyramids there. The pyramids been on the planet by around the pyramids are over 20 billion years old. They ain't gonna want to tell you this, but the pyramids go back 20 billion years. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. And then I hear a lot of scholars or a lot of people that were actually been on the ground like us over in ancient Kemet, and they say certain things, and they say, "Oh, I want no extraterrestrials," because they dealing with a time lapse, and so they don't know what time what was built. They think Imhotep, the pyramids that are pointing, they think that Khufra and them built those pyramids. Khufra and them didn't build those pyramids. They remodeled them, they upgraded them and kept them intact. But those schools been around for millions of years on the planet. Millions of years on the planet. Those schools, there were temples where we got schools in, right? And these feline beings played a part in that, which is why we show you their pictures in ancient Kemet. So you thinking that Busted is up there. I hear a lot of people explain their perspective on it, but those beings were extraterrestrial. They were extraterrestrial, and we were in contact with these beings until the Anunnaki cut us off and filed. They said that these beings were breaking galactic law by coming here, but that's not true because in the contract on Project Blue Rock, it said that these beings could come and visit their family members. Also, they could come and not interfere with the genetics and then, but they can come and do study on the genetics. The Anunnakis like to restrict other people, and then they do do just the opposite. Right? So they got these. They show you these different images of humanoid beings with feline heads in ancient Kemet. It's because we were mixing with these beings. You have cat, like I said, you got cat in your DNA. Why you think they call, and it's mostly the women. That's why they walk like cats. A lot of these women walk like cats. The models and things, they walk like cats, especially when they put the heels on, which is the heels come from an animal, come from the dog. Those heels come from a dog heels and feline heels, right? I'm telling you, man. So this is one of our genetics. That's why why you think they call the woman's private parts what they call it? They call it what it starts with a P. We can't see it, right? Because we're keeping it clean, YouTube. But it starts with a P. They call it that. And they call a cat the same thing. And then they call it a cat. Right? Why do they call a woman's private parts a cat or the P word? And they refer to these same people as the same thing. Right? I'm telling you, man. They don't want you to realize that they didn't want Nubians to realize the reality of intelligent life forms that is feline or reptilian or gray or just about any kind of insects. nomos, or whether it be shark or whale type beings. They don't want you to know that they don't want you to know that these beings, they're actually a higher form of these beings who are super intelligent, who come from other star systems. Now, like I said, the reptilians blew up most of the planets of these people. So they came here as part of Project Blue Rock as refugees. And I can't say they really were refugees because they were assisting us and anarchies in the Project Blue Rock. And then in promise us for assisting us, we promised to build them a new home called the Leo star system. And we did eventually build that system. And that's when they eventually took, after the war ended. The war is actually still going on now, but we're at the last frontier of the war, dealing with Project Blue Rock under the contract. So we eventually created, because we create stars. We can haul planets. Alex, I said it a long time ago, but Alex Collier reminded you there is beings out here that can hook up to planets and tow them. We were the first beings that started selling planets like mobile homes. That's why Saturn's got 72 moons. Those moons actually were planets that we were molding from gases and different elements that we were pulling out of the universe. We were making certain homes, sellable, remodelable planets. So like, you know, if you go buy a house, right? In the old days, you could buy a house and get it moved to your land, right? Like whether it be a double wide trailer or an actual big house. So we when we first came here, the first, and this right here was under the rulership of the 8th Anu, which is Anu's father and Shaw. We actually gonna be having a tape on that too tomorrow. Extraterrestrial question and answer part 2. We're gonna go into that about how we was selling the planets. And so when we first came here, we landed on Saturn. Or we didn't land on Saturn, we landed on another planet that we named after our home galaxy called Detra. And then we came to Saturn and set up home. It was 4 planets here, huge planets: Tiamat, Meldeck, Jupiter, and Saturn. Uranus and Neptune were created later during a competition between for the Most High 45 billion years ago, and between his brother, between the different brothers. And Anu won, Raziel the first. He won the competition. But we used to, all the planets that we got, that we were developing planets and molding planets. And what we would do is you would come purchase the planet, by way of mineral or the treaties or whatever the case may be, bargaining system, and we would sell you a planet. And then you would say, oh yeah, well, we got this location where we want to set up the planet, and we want to set up a star too. So we sold stars. We can create you an artificial star, or we can generate you a natural star, which will take a little longer to process, but we can do that too. But most of the people were getting artificial stars. A lot of the stars in your galaxy are artificial. They're being created. New stars are being created every day because it's new people moving in. The galaxy is being populated more and more every day. So as more people need more places to stay, thus business is big on creating homes. The real estate business and galactically speaking is big business. Galactic, the real estate, that's why it says in my father's house there's many mansions, right? So there's a lot of niggas getting galaxies, a whole star system set up for their family, for their whole species. So people used to come to us, the gate builders, the ancients, and say, hey man, we want to buy. They come, we show them around, they look at the different planets, they say, oh yeah, we want to buy that one. So we say, all right, what all do you want on it? They say, well, you know how you go to a lot, like when Shaq go to a lot and he say, oh yeah, I want that car, but I want you to put this bigger seats. I want you to add TVs to it, you know, add a navigation system to it. So they would come and say, oh, I want this planet. Add trees, add water, add this or that, make it a natural occurrence of gold or this and that, right? And so we'll make their planet, and then they say, oh, we need a star too, and we want to bring it to this particular location. So we'll go to that particular location, we'll send our construction crew. We got all the equipment that you got down here, like dump trucks. We got these big old cylinder crafts that we haul minerals on, right? These they look kind of like this craft right here. And really, this right here, the same crafts, these cigar crafts is flowed by these feline beings. This is what their mothership look like. They can range in between. They got some of them that's in between 1,500 to 200 miles in diameter or in size, right? They're like a round, and this it's like a one solid piece. It's like their ship is made out of one solid mold. When you look at it, it's like it's one solid mold. Like it's hard to explain. We're gonna be able to go into that too, though. We're gonna be able to go into that too once we're gonna try to get Krill to break that down. How these ships is molded out of one solid piece. It's called fusion. That's what he explained. It's called a certain type of fusion where they fuse the metal where it have no seams or nothing on it, right? Hey, Rob, you coming in? We go win this war. It's right because we can dance and they can't. That's right, Mustafa. We're gonna win. We're gonna win for sure. Right? So they would come pick out their planet like a new mobile home or something like that, right? And then they would say, okay, we want you to take that planet. Well, we want you to bring it here, and we need a star. So we'll create a star, boom. And then we'll put their planet, boom. We'll do the mathematics and everything. We'll put their planet the right distance they wanted, everything, set everything up, like just like laying out of a land out to build a house on it. And then over time, they might come back in when they get their bread up, they might come back and buy another planet. Boom. So we put another planet in their orbit. So now they got 2 planets, 3, 4, 5, 6 planets. They keep on buying more land and more property or more planets because of fertility, and they growing as a species and they evolve. So they need more space to occupy. This war is because for fertility. This war is being fought over fertility, for space. And there's really no such thing as space because space is always filled, right? So they got different types of ships. They got like about 7 or different 8, 9. They got different. It's one of their ships flying at light speed out of space. That same ship we just showed you is when it take off at light speed right here. The satellite's got a picture of it as it was taking off, about to take off at light speed when it first took off. So they ships can fly maybe 100 times, between 17 and 100 times the speed of light. And that's actually pretty slow compared to a lot of other species like the Asgards. The Asgard shit is crazy. They can fly 2 billion light years in a couple days. The Asgards. Because they use a special type of fuel where they extract the nucleus out of an atom. No, atom has the 3 main parts, and then you can go into the quark, the biop, and the zillip. But on the outside of that, you have the electron, neutron, and the nucleus. Well, what they do is they develop another type of technology where they can extract the nucleus, just like you extract the nucleus out of a cell when you clone it. They can extract the nucleus out of a cell, out of an atom, and create multiple clones of that nucleus and use it as a fuel source to where they got unlimited amounts of power. Where they ship is one of the most powerful ships in the damn galaxy, and on this side of the universe, right? Yeah, hey, a lot of your, like I said, you say you've been there, and that's probably true because a lot of your memory, as I talk and as I tell you about these beings, a lot of y'all memory is gonna start to come back, and you're gonna start to remember, hey, I'm a part of this species. Now, another connection too, keep in mind in masonry, which they stole this from ancient Kemet, and it's dealing with the Sphinx, right? The Sphinx, Leo, star constellation where these beings live at. In masonry, they have what they call the lion's paw. Why they giving a feline representation for the strong grip? Because this represents a certain bloodline, a bloodline coming down from that Sphinx. And I'm a part of that. I'm a part of that bloodline. I don't gotta be a Mason to hit the lion's paw. I don't gotta be a part of their order to hit the lion's paw. We had it in ancient Kemet. It's really, he by right can't hit this sign because he's not from that bloodline. He's not from the tribe of Yahudi. He's not from that tribe. I'm from that tribe. And we Watusis. And we connect, we got DNA of these lion beings going all the way back to the beings that we showed you in Avatar. And this sign, it goes for the Sphinx, and it's dealing with a certain genetical trait that when we crossbred with these as part of the covenant, we crossbred, or the contract we made, we crossbred and use some of our mixed our DNA with these lion beings, because they didn't tell you when they was upgrading the Homo sapien what all species they were using to upgrade the DNA. They just told you they took that and upgraded using their own DNA, the Anunnaki DNA. But where did the Anunnaki DNA come from? So you gotta look at that. What was their DNA? They far as they avatars. So they hitting let me show you the lines. You're gonna see it right here when I pull up the Sphinx. Watch this. All right, so you see him hitting the lion's paw. Now look at this. Look at that, how they got it right there. Look at the Sphinx. Look at it. Why is he hitting the Sphinx sign? And keep in mind, when we came from Atlantis and came to ancient Kemet and set up the schools over here, we was over here in America first. We came to ancient Kemet and we landed, and Tahuti buried his ship about a mile down under this Sphinx. And so they now dug down under the Sphinx and found out it's a whole lot. It was a whole library down there during the time of Alexandria, and they came try to confiscate all the books out of there and took them to the Vatican. Right, all these ancient scrolls that we had down there that taught you how to build helicopters, taught you how to build flying saucers, that taught you how to build technology where you had unlimited energy, where they learned how to get the Bluetooth that you wear on your phone, the Bluetooth connection on your phone. That this Sphinx had that technology, where it had Bluetooth technology coming from. It has a copper type coil that goes straight to the pyramids, and under the pyramids, it's got a passageway under there where water come under this pyramid that rolls across magnetic granite, where it sends a frequency through electricity up through the top of this pyramid. It had a capstone on it and limestone that conduct electricity and control the air pressure. Limestone, we use limestone on our ships to filter the air. Limestone it makes good filters, air filters. You have a air filter for limestones on our ships. The filtration system to filtrate the water and to filtrate the air on our ships use limestone. So limestone is like just as good as gold. Limestone is almost worth, I want to say that it's worth more than gold. I know melanin is worth more than both of them, but limestone is more valuable in the universe than gold. Why? Because people use it for the purification systems on their ship. Also crystals are one of the highest. Diamonds and crystals are one of the highest forms of energy that's galactical currencies, because of the notes. We call them notes, which is really 0 point energy. It's called 0 point modules is what we call them, 0 point modules. Let me show you what they look like. They show you these in the Stargate movie. We make them out of these crystals, and this is what powers most of our ships. It powers the Feline ships too. It's called a 0 point modular, where it pulls the 0 point energy. Hold up. We're going to break that down too on the next tape when we go into Ancient Technology Part 3. And we already broke it down really in Ancient Technology Part 1, the 0 point energy. If you go back, it's like that tape like maybe 3 or 4 years old, though. So we're going to add some more to that, right? But let me show you what they look like. This is one of the #1 power sources. And some beings refer to them as notes. It's the power source that fuel most of the ships. Modular. It's a modular. Hold on, I'm going to show you what it look like so y'all can see it. Rob, if you come into the building, hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the page. Yeah, hey, look, it's down now, but they can't move it because it's so big. So what they did is they dug around it and they stay down there. They got a whole team in ancient Kemet down there right now that's studying that ship, and they've been studying it for like the last 50 years and still hadn't figured out what's going on with it. And they can't move it because it's too big. They can't move it because it's too huge. So they trying to figure out how to get inside of it, how to open it up. They're trying to figure out how to open it up. So what they did is they figured that Tahuti left the keys of the riddle on how to open the ship or get the ship in the original emerald tablets. The ones you're reading online are the ones that people think that they putting out. That's not, you don't got the original emerald tablets. The original emerald tablets, they think that the key on how to get into that ship is in that emerald tablet. So a group of beings called the Hellfire Council, some different beings on the look for. That's what that Indiana Jones movies is all about, where they were searching for different artifacts that were left behind by the Anunnakis and the Atlanteans, like the Stargate, the Ark of the Covenant, which was really a device to communicate to the Anunnakis. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, so it's really to communicate with the Anunnakis, and it's several different things they found. They didn't even know what the heck it was because they didn't know how to use it, right? So let me show you what these are the devices that we use. These are notes, what we call notes, as in musical notes, because these crystals generate a certain musical notes. They generate a certain form of a super conductive energy that we use to with the piezoelectricity and the tetrahedric energy is why we got it in this triangle shape right here. We're going to show you. It shows you on the Stargate movie, right? Let's pull it up so we can show you what it looked like. So we'll get back. We're gonna come back. We're gonna actually do a whole tape on why the connection between why they hitting the lion's paw, the Sphinx, and the feline race. It's a connection between that. They stole this from the Sphinx and out of Mayor Ruka's tomb, his Mesabot. Right? What's the name? I already showed you that. The master teacher, Ash Rayquazi, already pointed that out. Right? Dr. Ben them. Shout out Dr. Ben, Ash Rayquazi. For putting the boots on the ground for us over there on the land. Let me show you this. I want to show you the 0-point energy modules before we get out of here. We're gonna do a part 2 to this because okay, I still got about 30 minutes. I still can go about 30 minutes. Cause I gotta be off at least 30 minutes before the Raw Hayes tape so I can get everything set up with it. So I'm gonna get off here like about around we're gonna just go long as we can until we gotta get off. I want to show y'all this 0-point energy module though. We're gonna be going more on depth into this because like I say, we're gonna get back on the extraterrestrial tapes because we see at YouTube like these tapes, you know, they think people ain't gonna listen to us and people ain't gonna think that this stuff is real, so they just let this stuff slide. They don't like us when we talk about the more science or the Native American stuff. They frown upon that. They frown upon that. They frown upon a truth like that. But this truth, they figure like, niggas ain't gonna listen to him. They gonna say he a crazy fool. They ain't no dang humanoid lion beings, right? But soon they gonna find out. They know about them, but they don't want you to know because they want you to stay on a certain level of consciousness so that you can continue being a food source, whether it be for energy food source or whether it be literally chopping you up like bologna and making a sandwich out of you. Making you a slave race to work the mines and work to dig the gold, like they said in their Bible in the beginning. Right? So where did I say that picture it? Let's make sure we got that saved, man. They go into how the 0-point module will work right here. We might watch that video. Let's watch that video. See what we got. Let's see if he right, because I know how it works. I know how it works because I worked. I'm actually a mechanic on some of the ships. Galactic, Sananda is a mechanic, a galactical mechanic. I work alongside Raziel, the 15th Elder, and Riz Tech, and some of the new development and ideas on the ships that we're going to develop.
You asked for it?
I see what he got. Okay.
Coming up right after this. Where I talk to you, the 0-point module. The 0-point module. The 0 point module, or ZPM as it is abbreviated, or ZPM if you're from outside the United States, is basically a giant freaking battery. It is a battery that is created by the ancients millions of years ago when they still lived in the Milky Way galaxy, and it is one of the most powerful sources of energy that we know about. A single ZPM can hold the Atlantic shield up to protect the city for thousands of years from the weight of an ocean on top of it. A ZPM can have the gate dial intergalactically with no problem, and it can allow for intergalactic travel. But how does the ZPM actually work? Well, according to Dr. Rodney McKay, basically you think of it as a universe in a bottle. Well, not really true. Basically, Radek has a better explanation.
It extracts vacuum energy from this artificial region of subspace-time until it reaches maximum entropy.
Although it is a 0 point module and harnessing 0 point energy, that's not technically correct. So in order to really find out how this actually works, we're going to need to dive into quantum mechanics. So bear with me here.
Yeah, see, I say he say quantum mechanics. This is what me and 15 about to get ready to start teaching. The next class that we have next week, I should have told y'all because niggas gonna be trying to steal our shit, but you heard me say it first. We're gonna be putting tapes out on how this 0 point module work with the quantum mechanics. So he head in the right direction. It's dealing with the quantum field and how you go, you can shrink or increase your size. We'll get into that, man. The ant movie breaks it down too. The ant movie. But let me keep on letting it play.
Stuff gave me a headache when I started to learn it. So I'm going to try to explain it so it's easy for you to understand. So things are going to be a little technically wrong for the sake of understanding, okay? So first off, what is 0 point energy? Well, if you go to the quantum level, as we understand it, particles act as particles, as fixed points, but they also act as waves, meaning that they're moving. So basically, according to quantum field theory, on a quantum level, everything is kind of shaking. And the weird thing is that they're kind of shaking all at once, kind of with the same frequency. So if you would picture the universe like this, like a sheet of paper like this, it's shaking, and it's all shaking as one. Now, since it is all shaking at one, there is no disruption, meaning that we cannot harness that energy. You see, anytime that there's a disruption of energy, we can capture that energy. That is called entropy. Basically, take the piston of your car. As the piston goes down, it squishes the air, the gas, and everything down tighter and tighter and tighter together. That pressure builds up, okay, according to the atmosphere around it. It's a lot higher pressure under the piston than it is in the rest of the engine. Now, that means that it wants to release and it wants to equalize the pressure. So it wants to push the piston up. Basically, that's what entropy is. It is wanting the high pressure and the low pressure to create equilibrium. So when we go back to the quantum field theory, where it has the entire universe kind of shaking at the same degree, it is all equal. We can't harness energy from it. But if we...
And keep in mind, 15 just was talking about this on a tape called Pure Energy that we put out that I think people looked over. So you may want to go check that tape out called Pure Energy because we're about to get ready to go into this information.
Hold on it just a little bit. We make a little bit of a wave or ripple. We make that divot there. Now, entropy means that it wants to even out in order to fill that gap. And right there, that is the energy. That is referred to as vacuum energy. You pull on this down with single point, and with it wanting to get all the same again, that difference is vacuum energy. And theoretically, that energy can be harnessed, and it can be harnessed from basically empty space, which is really fascinating and really exciting once you think about it. Now, how this could potentially be done is with something called the Kashmir effect. Basically, what this is that if you take two plates and you put them really, really, really close together, those waves that we were talking about, some of them get excluded. So there's less waves in between the plates and there's more waves on the outside of the plates pushing in. So since there's less pressure on the inside than the outside, they get pushed together. Now, the reason why we can't really harness this energy is because it takes the same amount of energy to pull those plates apart again in order to be pushed back together again. So there's no real net gain there. So when it comes to actually harnessing this vacuum energy, when it comes to actually using the Kashmir effect as a practical source of energy, we are not quite there yet. But that is where the ancients were. So basically the ZPM has a pocket of subspace within it. And in that pocket of subspace, it is all jiving at the same frequency, okay, that 0 point energy. But the ZPM makes a disruption. And within that disruption, more energy wants to fill that in order to have it go back to equilibrium. That creates the vacuum energy. And the ZPM takes that vacuum energy and is able to use it to power Stargates, to power Atlantis, to power all kinds of freaking awesome weapon platforms and everything. That is why these things are so cool. We can kind of understand how they work, but we have no way how to charge the battery. We can't do it. We don't know how to recharge this thing. So that is why they're so freaking rare and why they are so meaningful and powerful to the Stargate.
The life, look, these it depends on the life of the crystal, depends on how long they last. Now keep in mind, crystals are living organisms. They are alive, they are breathing. When you get, if you got a real diamond earrings or ring, it's got a breathing area in there. Some people say, oh, that's for cleaning because they don't want to, but they stupid. It's for cleaning because the algae is gonna grow. A mold or algae is going to grow as dirt accumulated around the crystal because the crystal is generating a certain energy. The crystal is a life form. It's a living organism. A diamond is a living organism. Rubies are living organisms that we mold together using a particular type of gel, black gel. It's a high level conductor. It's more this particular gel we discovered later, which is more of a high conductive of electricity, it conducts electricity more than even the silver. Although we do still use silver and copper in some of our technology on Nubaru. So crystals are high power living organisms. They are alive. They are spiritual beings, crystals, living beings. And if you go back and get my tape called Field Trip to Pluto, where I explain and break down the crystal beings they live on Pluto. We actually gonna have 2 parts to this tape because it's a lot more we got to go over, right? Look at this right here. Let me show you. Now it's a group of these beings that come from this star system right here. They ships kind of look like this, like these ships, like the mother side ships, except this middle piece is not on their ship, like the middle line, like a football. They ships look like footballs, but it's not this it's be one mold, one total complete mold. It looks just like this, is city size. The little bitty ships that come off the mothership, the 2,000-mile long mothership. And they got some fighter jets and different other jets too that's older than it. The bad ones fly ships that look like this. The bad one ship look like a turd, and this really is a reptilian origin ship. The reptilians like to find asteroids and other stuff that look like meteorites and things of that nature, so that they'll be undetected. So you see this, you think it's a big old asteroid when it's really a whole ship that's a reptilian mothership. But when the bad felines chose to join on with Tarnushnem, the Dragonian reptilians, the reptilians gave them some of their ships to fly because they didn't get the technology from the good Leo beings or the feline beings. So some of the bad feline beings fly turd-looking ships like this that look like asteroids, but it's really a whole ship, like a cigar type shaped ship. So if you see one of these ships, automatically know it's the bad guys. It's going to either be the reptilians, Dragonians, or a certain particular species of reptilian Dragonians, or a bad group of, you might see reptilians and feline beings on the same ship. And because they working, because it's a group, 1/3 of that group broke off and chose to join on with the reptilians, the Dragonians, right? What we got right here? Yeah, all right. So the reptilian groups that was invading the feline races. These little grays, they're like marker beams. The Crusaders, the Orion Crusaders, the dirty grays. The dirty grays, which is ran by Krill's brother, Swan, who Aleister Crowley say he got a book from in ancient Kemet, because these beings were landed in ancient Kemet, in the pyramids. Say he went to the beings came to him in a dream, told him to meet him at the pyramids in ancient Kemet, and he went at the Sphinx, and then the being came. He said they presented him a book, right? But these beings are the beings that we fighting against, these reptilians, and they took over. They took over some of the 1/3 of the kingdoms, like 12 or 15 different kingdoms of the joined on with them, and made treaties with them to fight with them against the Anarchies and the good Leo beings, and the good Canarians. Also, the bird beings called the Canarian. Well, the Canarians are the bad ones. They're the ones that fight with the reptilians. And keep in mind that they telling you this is a religious thing, but it's really extraterrestrial stuff right before your eyes, right? Because the Pope takes orders from the reptilians, the Nomos. That's why he got a Nomos fish hat on. And the people that follow him are the Canarians. They call them cardinals. Cardinals. They wear bird. Why they dressed in black and red like a cardinal, like a bird race? And why he dressed like the Nomos? Because it's all extraterrestrial shit. This cross is dealing with the winter solstice cross, the Southern Cross. It's dealing with astronomy. So all this is extraterrestrial right here. The Cardinals, the bird race who fought with the reptilians, and the Nomos who are neutral beings, really, and they hate us at one point. They fighting with us at one point. They don't know what the hell they want to do. These Nomos, right? Those who claim to know the most. So it's extraterrestrial stuff going. You thinking it's religious? This is extraterrestrial stuff all the way, all day long. And they know about the saucers and all that, but they want to tell you about some God, the Son of God and Jesus and all this other crap that they telling us. But the whole time they dressing like canary and bird race, who were the disagreeables, who fought with the Dragon reptilians, and he dressed like a damn Nomos with a fish hat on, Dogons. The Dogon people, which they stole this information from the ancient Egyptians, who are one of the rate species of ancient Egyptians is the Dogon people. And the origin of this is coming out of ancient Kemet or out of Ethiopia, where they took the science of what the Nomos taught the Dogon people and turned it into a religion. And these Caucasians didn't do it. It was dirty Moors who did it to put a spell, because it was all coming down from Baal. Baal is Enlil's son. Baal is Enlil's son. Baal made a deal with Elelu, which is Anu's brother, to herd the 144,000 virgins, which were children, to be eaten by Dragon reptilians, because they had the adrenochrome, or the adrenaline gland. So when they bite down into these kids, they scare them up first to get their adrenaline going, and then they bite down into them while they blood rushing, and they scare and fears in their body, and they eat them. That's like a seasoning up for them, these reptilians. Yeah, the Cardinals is the Cornarian bird race, and their enemy is the good beings who we fight with us, called, and you saw them on the wall in Sumerita and in the ancient Kemet, which is the same species that Tahuti is from, right? Tahuti got that same species in them, the blue avians. The blue avians, right? The blue avians are the good beings. The red beings are the, keep in mind, red is the lowest vibration, dealing with the red chakra, the root chakra. And blue and purple is one of the highest vibrational colors, violet. So the blue avians are higher dimensional beings than the Cardinals. The Cardinals got cast down a level, which is why they mad and they want to fight against the blue avians, because the reptilians and the Cardinals and the dirty felines are mad at the Anarchies because they won't share the ascension methods with them. And so they say that's like y'all are holding stuff back, and y'all telling us one thing and y'all telling us another. So we don't like y'all. So they really fighting for ascension, these beings. They fighting for fertility and ascension. right? So that's what's going on, man. We're going to come back with a part 2 to this. We got about 8 minutes. We'll take a couple questions. We're gonna run a couple more pictures by you. Right. So you see the Pope and the bird, you see the fish beans and the bird beans follow the fish bean. These dirty fish, these dirty Canarian extraterrestrial race follow the nomos in the war in their efforts. And they really stand in the neutral zone. These nomos really stand in the neutral zone. Sometimes they fight with us, sometimes they fight against us. You know, they don't know what the hell they want to do. Right? So it's different species. Some of them got hair, whiskers, all that, right? Fur. Right? Some of the black, most of the black ones are the royal family. The dark ones are the royal family. So they got jewels, they be rocking jewels and crystals and gold. They part of the family, man. Down here. A lot of y'all got these, a lot of y'all are star seeds from these feline beings, which is why you got close connections with felines and cats. Some of y'all might can walk up to a wild tiger and pet him, because especially if you ain't got no fear on you, a tiger can, these beings, that they go off of instincts, so they can smell fear on you, they can sense fear. But if you ain't got no fear on you, you can walk up into them and pet them, or you can have them as a pet. Some beings who have the tigers and shit, they got the money, they connected with these beings as star seeds, the Lyrans. And keep in mind, the felines are just one species of Lyran. You got humanoids, gray looking, you got several different types of species that from the Lyran star system. The Lyran star system was just like a main, the main more upgraded, the newer area that was more updated. Like some cities you go to, they still in the like some cities on Earth you go to, they still in the 1900s or the olden days, town square type days, right? And then some of the other cities you go to, like the bigger cities like New York and Chicago, they already going into the new technology with this big screen, out on the signs, all the stop signs and stop lights are getting ready to be upgraded into like computer screen type stop lights. Yeah, I started out as I was born disagreeable, and then I undergo and joined the Order of Melchizedek and gained the benevolent side. So I lean more to my benevolent side now. But I had to be benevolent in order, that's why I got my benevolent side got me picked for this job. Mikael and there's several others like Raziel, he's a benevolent. 15 elders are benevolent. A lot of us are the 7 masters are benevolent. We had to be benevolent because we had to come here and fight, and we had to be able to say no or stop to certain beings, to certain things that were being put out. So we had to have this malevolent side in order to come and lift your subconscious this time. So that's why we here now. We fighters. We a frontline defense system. We a frontline defense system. I'm Tammuz Sananda Haru, your galactical guide. Like I say, I incarnated at this time as Haru, and so I can file charges against Enlil and all the other so-called gods or extraterrestrial beings who are coming here trying to lay claim to our planet and enslave us or use us for a food source, with, like I say, whether that be for energy source or actual physically eating our avatars and or eating us or harnessing our spiritual energy. That's right. What we here is to make heaven on earth. And that's a safe spot. Like 15 says, haven is a safe spot. We here to make heaven on earth. So we here to make peace with all the species in the galaxy through Project Blue Rock, so that we can all see how we live in peace. But we only been having one problem with one particular species, Enlil's children. Enlil's children and their servant, the Caninites. We've been the frugal laws in Canine. We've been having with Yaku's beings, the Caninites, which are mixed with the frugal lords. These are people that they the ones that going out and killing the tigers. They're killing all the species, and they think they gonna get away with it. But these beings are gonna come back to revenge their people. You saw what happened to the dude that Roy Hayes showed you that was in India killing the tigers, and he eventually tried to kill one tiger, and one of these beings, one of these spiritual high beings incarnated to stop him from killing a species, to hunting a species. Yeah, hey, we Enlil's children. Like I say, I'm Enlil's grandson, and I'm Inky's grandson. Right? My mother is Enlil's granddaughter. My father is Inky's youngest son, Damuzi. So I'm here to make peace with both sides of the family, technically, which is why we say there's no number but one. And when it's all said and done, when this war is over, we're gonna shake hands and call it even, and make the universe balance again. Right? We're gonna shake hands and call. What is the purpose of Space Jam? From my perspective, is to show you the aspect of these beings can come here and get inside and take human cause or take human attributes and come out here and live like humans, because these monsters in Space Dam came down to take human attributes and was using them, right? So it's to basically show you that there's extraterrestrials in the universe. They can come here, they can look like humans and take your attributes on and act like you, and they can mimic you because they are intelligent. They can mimic, put your costume on, put a human costume on and mimic you. Mimic how you sound, mimic how you talk, mimic your language. It'll take but a couple minutes and seconds for them to absorb your language, your dialect, if you're a higher dimensional being. Yeah, all of y'all are star seeds. A lot of y'all are star seeds that incarnate from these different species onto the planet to experience or be part of this Project Blue Rock, like I say, which is a project to make peace between all the extraterrestrials in the galaxy. Like I say, your planet, Earth, Tiamat, Ki, Tai, several different names for it, depending on what species is talking. In one sense, it's just a symbol, which is a triangle with a circle on the top, or a pyramid with a sun on the top, right? Which represents our planet, right? It's one of the destinations galactically for our planet, the symbols. Because some people, you ask some beings, if they ask you where you're from and you say Earth, they look at you like you're retarded. Because a lot of planets can be Earth, because Earth dirt is on several different planets. The minerals of iron that make up the dirt is on several other planets. Right? So your planet is one of the only planets in the galaxy, especially on this side, that got millions of different species. You got 900,000 different insects, 5,000 different, you got 37 different types of feline beings, and you got 5,000 different types of ones within those 37 different types of like species. You got cattle, you got millions of different types of fish species. They say, what reason for what? Hit creator music. What's the reason for what? Project Blue Rock? Say, reason for Project Blue Rock? The reason for Project Blue Rock is to see, could all the species that live in the galaxy live on one planet in peace? And if they can live on this one planet in peace, then they can live in the universe in peace. So it goes back to that bringing heaven to earth thing of seeing, if we can bring heaven to earth, then we can make the universe peaceful again. But the only problem, like I say, we have in here is dirty Moors and dirty free white man in wolves in sheep clothing who are here causing the problems. Yeah, you can trust the Lyrians. They're benevolent beings. For the most part, the Lyrians are benevolent beings. Now, like I say, 1/3 of them chose to go cherubins or go disagreeable from our perspective, and join on with the reptilians, the Dragon reptilians, and help them fight in a war against us and against their own people. What is his blood type? It's got to be O. O blood type. O is a universal blood type. Keep that in mind. These feline beings, when they incarnate into avatars, they have a type B. On the earth, they have type B. And then we get into a higher dimensional, you got higher dimensional blood types. Those, the O down to the AB and all that, that's all third dimensional blood types. Once you go into the fifth dimension, you get a different type of blood. Right? We're about to go into that too. We'll go into the fifth dimensional blood types. All of y'all blood types getting ready to change. Your blood getting ready to turn blue and purple. Your blood is really already technically blue until it come out and get hit by oxygen. Then it turns red. Then it turns red, right? But so most people, a lot of us that's starting to ascend and get more intelligent, our blood is getting ready to turn more of a dark purple, and then even back to a greenish color, like chlorophyll, like our blood getting ready to go back chlorophyll color. And we're about to get ready to start turning back green again. Some kids are born with the green skin, some of us still right now today. Right? But we gotta get up out of here because we gotta get set up for the Rod Hayes tape. So shout out to brother V Dunn for the donation, brother. Shout out to brother V Dunn, man. Appreciate that, brother. Like I say, we're about to be on the Rod Hayes tape at 8:30. So give us about 25 minutes or 20 minutes, and we'll be back hot. So we're gonna probably have a part 2 to this tape so we can go in more and take more questions and stuff on this tape. So we're gonna go in again on this part 2. This is just part 1. And we're gonna have a part 1 to the Extraterrestrial tape where we go in more on the anarchies and what's happening here. Now that, and we got more tapes coming out with other beings that star seeds and contactees giving their perspective. Like we had we already put the Alex Collier tapes out. Like I said, we already had those tapes out already, but we had to re-edit them and reload them. So we better get up out of here, man. Islam, peace, Hotep, love, Ashug, divine love throughout the boundless universe to all. Wadu.